Hey guys, thanks for joining us for the January newsletter. Before I start, just a quick reminder about our Safety and Compliance Conference coming up next month on February 28th. It'll be in Lancaster, PA at the Eden Resort. Some of our speakers include FMCSA PA Division Administrator Chris Henry, PMTA President and CEO Rebecca Euler, several transportation attorneys from the Saxon & Stump law firm, and more. I'm sure many of you have already signed up, but if not, check out the details and register in the link above or below. You can attend in person or watch the live stream. This month, we're going to let you know how to restore a suspended vehicle registration, how the FMCSA is revamping CSA scores, why the PHMSA increased drug testing, and why fleets are still unprepared for DOT audits. Okay, first, let's talk about suspended registrations. There are lots of reasons why you might end up with a suspended registration, including letting your insurance lapse, not updating the DOT about insurance changes, unpaid tickets, or even not letting the DOT know about a car you own but don't drive. The bottom line is there are a bunch of ways it can get suspended, so if you end up in that situation, just know that you have two options to get it cleared. One, you wait out a 3-month suspension and then pay any fees to restore it. And two, you pay $500, skip the suspension, pay any other fees, and move on with your life. I'm thinking I'm just gonna pay the $500 and keep driving. Those are the basics, but we do cover this in a lot more detail in the full video in the link above or below, discussing fees, forms to submit, and even some of the most common questions we get on vehicle registration suspensions. So make sure to give that video a watch. Next up, we're talking FMCSA and CSA scores. The FMCSA decided to revamp CSA scores and expect that the proposed changes for 2025 are going to simplify the entire safety measurement system for drivers, motor carriers, and DOT auditors. The largest changes they are making include: 1. Renaming behavioral analysis and safety improvement categories, or basics, to compliance groups. 2. Grouping related violations. 3. Simplifying the severity weights of violations by changing from a scale of 10 to a much smaller scale of 2, while also making recent violations carry more weight. 4. Changing safety event groups to proportionate percentiles, which will eliminate the use of and issues with cutoffs established with safety event groups. And 5. Changing the thresholds at which the FMCSA intervenes for certain categories. And if you can believe it, for some categories, they're actually increasing the percentage threshold at which they intervene. Now, hopefully all these changes will make for a seamless process across the board when it comes to tracking a carrier's safety. We go into a ton more detail on each of these changes I mentioned in the full video and article, so be sure to check those out in the link above or below, or you can fill out the form below if you have any questions. Next, let's quickly talk about the increase in PHMSA drug testing. We see the same thing with the FMCSA and other DOT-managed modes of transportation, and it's all related to safety-sensitive employees and the requirement to be part of a random drug testing pool. Basically, in an effort to maintain safety, those employees have to be randomly drug tested, or at least part of a drug testing pool where their name could be pulled at any time. There's a minimum random drug testing rate of 25%, but they analyze the rate of positive drug tests every year, and if the percentage of positive tests is 1% or higher, that 25% testing rate jumps to 50%. So for 2025, the random drug testing rate has officially increased to 50%, and all that really means is more people are going to be called on for random drug tests. You can get all the full details in the article or video in the links above or below, but if you have questions or need more information on getting your employees in a drug consortium, just call, email, or fill out the form in the description, and one of our drug and alcohol specialists will help you out. Lastly, we're talking about fleets and being prepared for a DOT audit. A recent report from Fleetworthy is telling us that regardless of trucking companies having fleet safety managers, there is still a lot of concern that those companies would not pass a DOT audit. So why are they unprepared? Well, 87% of fleet managers said that compliance documentation is the biggest issue. DOT audits are inevitable, but there are some best practices that you can follow to make sure you are as prepared as possible when audit day comes. Some of those best practices include having a good record-keeping procedure, creating a well-thought-out company policy, monitoring and auditing all of your hours of service records for accuracy, and maintaining vehicle maintenance records. Those are just a few examples, but there are a number of other best practices that our compliance experts here at CNS would recommend. We do go into a lot more detail on all 8 items that you should be prioritizing to avoid failing a DOT audit, pain points and potential solutions according to fleet safety managers, and at what point you should consider getting third-party help or compliance training from someone like CNS. Just check out the full article and video in the links above or below, and get in touch by filling out the form below, and one of our DOT compliance specialists can help you out. That covers it for this month. Please don't forget to register for the Safety and Compliance Conference on February 28th. The registration link is above and in the description below. As always, subscribe to our channel and email newsletter, and call, email, or fill out the form in the description if you have any questions. See you next month.